Hello, I'm Dr. Andrew Allen, Midwestern State University in Wichita Falls, Texas, and that was the second Etude for the 2017-2018 school year for TMEA All-State. Now, this is a lovely Etude. This is what we would usually call the ballad or the pretty Etude or the slow Etude out of this bunch. So there are a few things that you need to think about in terms of sound quality, in terms of style. Now, we need to be concerned with sound quality and tone quality all the time, but it's a little more exposed in a piece like this, the slow Etude. You've got a bad sound on the fast Etudes, it's still going to be very evident and it's still going to cost you, but we can focus on it a bit more, perhaps, in an Etude like this. There's quite a bit of technique, there are quite a bit of counting concerns to worry about, but we also have some held notes that we can play with a beautiful sound, put a little vibrato on, and succeed there. Now, when we're talking about quality sound, first things first, we need to talk about, is your equipment up to par? Now, you can't buy a sound. You cannot buy a sound. You can't spend $300 on a mouthpiece and think that's going to make you sound good. That's not how things work. But if you have functioning equipment of high quality, it's going to help everything else you do and make your life a lot easier. So I personally play Selmer saxophones and I play Van Doren mouthpieces, reeds, and ligatures. I think they're the best all around. They give me the best results. Maybe different for you, but hey, look at your equipment. If you're playing no-name mouthpiece, no-name reed, or a reed which shall not be named, that is very low quality, then you're probably going to want to reconsider some of that. Okay. Now, once you have functioning equipment, high-quality equipment, you need to start listening. Now, you guys are watching videos of these All-State Etudes. I'm sure I'm not the first one that you've watched, but you need to listen to some other saxophonists. Now, on my YouTube page, which of course you can access through this video, I actually have a couple playlists for you guys. I have one called Classical Saxophone. I have another called Jazz Saxophone. I've gotten together a lot of my personal heroes that I think have beautiful sounds and are great players. People like Clifford Lehman, Tamer Sullivan, Tim McAllister, Otis Murphy, Joseph Luloff. The list goes on and on and on. And on the jazz side, we've got a lot of my favorites too. So make sure you guys are taking a listen so you know what a concert sound, what a classical sound on saxophone is. For those of you who are doing the jazz etudes, which you should check out my videos on those too, you need to know what a real jazz sound is and try to get as close as you can to both. So, some other things that can help you get a beautiful sound. First of all, you need to use a ton of air. Just an absolute ton of air all the time. You guys can look at some other pointers that I have for beautiful sound on another YouTube video of mine. It's something along the lines of getting a beautiful sound on the saxophone. Just look on my page, you'll find that. Another thing that you should probably be concerned about once you have all the mechanics down with a beautiful sound, this is a perfect opportunity to add a little bit of vibrato. The others not so much. There are only a few places that you could longer note values. But anytime that you have a beat or longer than a note is held, you should think about adding vibrato. Now, you don't need to add vibrato to every note, but vibrato can add a little something extra to the sound. It's like you bake this beautiful cake, and the cake is great, your sound is great, but then you put some really nice frosting on top. You're not going to put too much. It's not going to overpower everything if you're just sitting there eating frosting. That's not very good. But just a little extra, maybe a little chocolate drizzle on top of the cake is going to add a little something extra. It's the same with vibrato. It takes a great sound and it can elevate it under the right circumstances. So again, I have another video under my YouTube channel on saxophone vibrato. Make sure you check that out because as you heard, there are a lot of great opportunities to use vibrato in this piece as well. Now, this piece, there are a few challenges, technically speaking. In the beginning, a lot of you may have the tendency to crack that first note. You need to have your air set from the very beginning. Now, you probably noticed I did a little flick as well. Flicking right before you play, that's a trick that usually is associated with lower notes on the saxophone. That is a later thing. First and foremost, you need to have your air set, ready to go. Your tongue releases, and all of the air is there to supply the reed. Usually when we have a tough time starting a phrase or an etude like this, not enough air is waiting behind the reed to get it to respond and vibrate and be right there like we need it to. Now, there are a couple other things to consider in this piece. You have lots of trills, you have lots of graces. Don't go too fast. Don't trill too much, okay? Fast trills are going to kill you. Don't do that. I hear people do that all the time. Usually when you have a trill such as this, you need to worry about time first, and you need to only worry about putting 2 or 3 little ups and downs in there, and you'll be fine. Probably the thing that is going to separate people in my mind when I'm listening to auditions later in the fall. How are they doing with phrasing? How are they doing with dynamics? Phrasing is very clearly laid out in this piece. Almost every phrase is delineated with a breath mark or a rest. So you really need to pay attention to that closely. You need to try to shape all the way to the end. Don't cut off the ends of phrases. And also, how are you responding to the dynamics? There is dynamic saturation in this piece. We have from piano all the way up to forte, from legato all the way up to accents. This is a very rich piece in terms of color, and you need to take advantage of all the opportunities that you have to play musically. So having said those few things, I hope this helps. One overarching thing in this piece, use a lot of air, no matter if you're soft, no matter if you're loud. Okay, that's going to help get the same quality of sound throughout. I hope that this has helped. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please email me, andrew.allen@mwsu.edu, or get a hold of me through my website, allensax.com. With that, I wish you good luck.